Life is often perceived as an enigmatic force, a phenomenon that transcends the physical and enters the realm of the mystical. But is there truly something distinct or supernatural about what we call life? When we look deeper, life reveals itself not as a separate entity, but as a result of countless intricate natural processes working in harmony. From the multiplication of cells to the emergence of intelligence and consciousness, life is the manifestation of nature's laws in action, complex yet comprehensible, extraordinary yet grounded in the universal principles that govern the cosmos. By shifting our perspective from myth to reality, we can gain a profound appreciation for the intricate design of nature and the processes that sustain what we call life. Life in Balance, exploring homeostasis and natural order. The nature of life, a scientific exploration. Life is often seen as something mystical or beyond comprehension, a force that comes and goes, leaving behind questions about its true essence. Yet, if we examine life through the lens of science, particularly biology, physics, and chemistry, we see that the processes that make life possible are deeply intertwined with the fundamental laws of nature. In this presentation, we explore the nature of life, the concept of living and non-living cells, and the role of natural laws like gravity and homeostasis in sustaining life. Understanding cells, living versus non-living. Before diving into broader concepts like homeostasis or gravity, it is important to distinguish between living and non-living cells, the fundamental units of life. Living cells, the basis of life. Living cells are the building blocks of all life forms. They exhibit characteristics like metabolism, growth, response to stimuli, and reproduction. These functions are regulated by complex biochemical reactions within a structure that can maintain homeostasis. For instance, in human cells, the nucleus houses genetic material, DNA, the mitochondria are responsible for energy production, and the cell membrane controls what enters and exits the cell. Living cells are designed to maintain life processes. They carry out necessary functions for survival and reproduction, displaying complexity, organization, and adaptability. Non-living cells, viruses and other entities. Interestingly, viruses are often debated as non-living cells. Viruses do not exhibit the characteristics of life independently. They require a host cell to replicate. Viruses are composed of genetic material, either DNA or RNA, wrapped in a protein coat, but they lack the machinery to carry out metabolic processes on their own. This means that they cannot maintain homeostasis or reproduce without hijacking a living cell's functions. This distinction is essential because it shows that life is not just a property of matter, but a result of specific processes occurring in organized structures. Homeostasis, the unseen balance of life. One of the key features of living organisms is homeostasis, the ability to maintain a stable internal environment despite external changes. From the temperature regulation in humans to the pH balance in our blood, homeostasis is a constant balancing act that allows cells and organisms to thrive. Homeostasis is driven by natural laws that guide physiological functions. These include feedback mechanisms where the body detects changes and activates processes to restore balance. For example, if the body temperature rises, sweat glands produce sweat to cool it down, which is a perfect illustration of homeostasis in action. But what's important to understand that this balance does not require an external life force or soul. Instead, it is the result of physical and chemical interactions governed by the laws of nature. Natural laws such as thermodynamics and molecular biology work together to regulate these functions seamlessly. Life and the laws of physics. One of the common misconceptions about life is the belief that life is somehow separate from the natural laws of physics. People often think that there is something called life, or there is something special about life, a force that drives it beyond physical laws. However, when we examine how life functions, we see that everything in living systems can be explained through natural processes. Gravity, the fundamental law we experience every day. Take gravity, for example. Gravity is one of the most fundamental forces in nature, shaping everything from the falling of an apple to the orbits of planets. It's a force that is constantly at work, yet no one questions it or attributes it to any external being. Gravity simply is. It is a law of physics, an inherent feature of the universe that works automatically. Similarly, when we look at life's processes, we see that they are governed by similar physical principles. Our bodies function in accordance with chemical reactions, the laws of thermodynamics and energy transfer. The heart pumps, the lungs breathe, and the digestive system processes food, all because of natural laws at work, not due to the influence of a separate life force. The myth of a life force. The idea of a life force has been a part of many religious and philosophical traditions, but it becomes unnecessary once we start understanding how life operates from a scientific perspective. Life, as we know it, emerges from the complex interactions of molecules and cells, following the laws of physics and chemistry. There is no need for a deity or an external force to maintain these processes. They happen as a result of natural laws that govern the universe. This view demystifies life, removing it from the realm of the supernatural and placing it firmly in the domain of science. The functioning of the human body or any living organism is just a reflection of the way natural laws shape and govern matter and energy. The continuity of life from cells to society. When we think about life in terms of biology and natural laws, we begin to understand that life is a continuum with deep interconnections between all living beings. Our cells are made of molecules that, in turn, are composed of atoms, all bound by the same fundamental laws of physics. This raises interesting questions about the continuity of life over generations. In the context of epigenetics, we see that our genetic makeup can be influenced by experiences and environmental factors, and these changes can be passed on to future generations. For example, if a person experiences traumatic events that deeply affect their psyche, this might result in changes to their genes, changes that could be inherited by their descendants. This is not karma in the traditional religious sense, but a reflection of the epigenetic inheritance and behavioral and psychological traits. Over generations, these changes could accumulate and shape societies. The role of education and social change. Speaking of societies, we also see how deeply ingrained social behaviors such as those seen in India are passed down over generations. These behaviors are influenced by not only culture and environment, but also epigenetic changes. For example, a society that has experienced generations of oppression or poverty may carry those traumas in their collective psyche, affecting their genetic makeup and passing those effects down. Yet, change is possible. Through education, cultural exchange, and shifts in societal structures, individuals and communities can break free from these cycles. The epigenetic shifts that result from these changes are gradual, but can lead to long-term transformations. Life in harmony with nature. Life's wonder and beauty lie in its simplicity and complexity, a phenomenon shaped entirely by natural laws. Like I said earlier, the heart pumps, lungs breathe, and cells maintain balance, not through an external force, but through the elegance of physics and chemistry. Life is nature itself, neither a mystery unraveled by myth nor something supernatural. It is the universe's remarkable expression of natural order, establishing the interconnectedness of all things. By transcending the poetic idea of a life force, we open ourselves to the true marvel of existence, the elegance of natural laws shaping life in its countless forms. The idea of a life force reduces the complexity and interconnectedness of natural processes that collectively manifest as what we call life. As we deepen our understanding of these processes, we uncover life's beauty and find our place within the vast, harmonious web of nature. Let this realization inspire us to respect, learn from, and live in balance with the forces that sustain us. Let's love and respect Mother Nature. Thank you for listening.